That's right. That's right, Mike. And it's been a remarkable 3 days any way you look at it, from the pageantry of the royal reception to the stay at Buckingham Palace, the tours around the city by the royal family and that great banquet, to the business deals, the investment deals, including that big $10 billion investment in the first nuclear power station to be built in a generation here in the UK. And then those meetings at number 10 Downing Street with the Prime Minister, but also at his private retreat in Chequers to discuss China's expanding role on the world stage. But there's no doubt it's 2 a.m. in the morning here, but in a few hours' time, when the newspapers hit the stands, there is no doubt at all that on the headlines or on the covers of those newspapers, the image on most of them is going to be of two world leaders with beers in hands, chatting down at the local pub, very relaxed, like a couple of old friends.
After multi-billion-dollar investment deals and agreements ranging from visas to cybersecurity, it was time for a few pints of beer and a basket of fish and chips. It was a brief moment of respite for President Xi Jinping and Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron as they chatted with the locals at a country pub just outside of London. The leaders then travelled to Chequers, the UK Prime Minister's official country residence, to discuss China's growing role in foreign affairs on the international stage. The British government said the war in Syria and rising extremism were also talking points. While Britain and China disagree on a number of foreign policy issues, they have also worked successfully together over the past few years, including on the negotiations that led to a freezing of Iran's nuclear program. Earlier, outside Buckingham Palace, Queen Elizabeth bade the Chinese president and the First Lady a royal farewell. President Xi also toured the satellite company Inmarsat, perhaps best known for helping in the search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, which disappeared last year. Most of those on board the doomed plane were from China. Inmarsat has signed a preliminary deal to roll out satellite mobile broadband across China, with a strong emphasis on the country's One Belt, One Road initiative that aims to strengthen trade links and economic growth. While in London, Xi also emphasized the need to focus on strengthening cultural ties.
There are currently more than 150,000 Chinese students studying in the UK. More than 600 primary and secondary schools in this country have opened Chinese language courses, creating a boom of learning Chinese.
And cultural ties were at the forefront on Thursday when President Xi attended an event held by the London Confucius Institute, which aims to promote Chinese culture in Britain.
Well, the four-day visit is not over yet, Mike. As you mentioned before, President Xi has now departed from London, heading up to Manchester, the northern powerhouse, it's called here in Britain. Well, it certainly used to be a powerhouse. Its fortunes have flagged a little bit over the past few decades, but they are trying to revive the economy there, and China is playing a large part in that. Already there has been a lot of investment, more investments to come. We're expecting more tomorrow. Another full day for President Xi in the northern city of Manchester.
Can you give us an idea of what exactly is on tap for him for this part of the trip?
In the morning, he'll be heading to educational institutes, including one that the telecommunications giant Huawei intends to invest a few $1 billion in. That's what we're being told. It produces graphene, or it discovered graphene. It specializes in it. It's hundreds of times harder than steel, and so it is highly sought after by telecoms and IT firms. But after that, everybody knows President Xi is a big football fan. He's heading to the Manchester City Football Club. We now know he is going to watch a game there played by players from the Football Academy, and that game is going to be attended by present and past players from Manchester City and Manchester United. Just so it's clear, there is no bias in favouritism there for the Manchester teams. After that, one more luncheon with David Cameron, Britain's Prime Minister. We're hearing that Britain is going to offer big tax breaks to Chinese companies if they invest in Manchester. We are expecting more announcements on the investment deals after that meeting. And then President Xi flies directly home from Beijing on the same day that direct flights are launched from Manchester to China. But Really, if nothing goes wrong between now and then, and it seems unlikely that it would, really this entire trip will absolutely be seen as a milestone in China-Britain relationships. It has far exceeded any expectations of people looking at this before the trip. Everyone, of course, was talking about the golden era ahead. But what we've seen over the past few days is clear evidence that that relationship really exists.
Yeah, it certainly is remarkable. Jack Barton live for us there in London. Thanks so much. And